In the society that we live in, sickness is money. And that's exactly the reason why so many people are opting out of the whole entire Matrix game, right? People are seeing through it, and especially the younger generation. The younger generation, I have concluded, is not necessarily lazy. That is a stigma, and I even thought that myself for quite some time. I thought, yeah, people just don't want to work hard. They don't want to do this. They don't want to do that. I don't think that's what it is anymore. What it is they don't want to continue to build for somebody else's dreams. And the whole world is telling them that there's no other way to do life except for this path. And if they don't do it, they're not going to get a this, they're not going to get a that. They're not going to be considered for relationships, material. They're not going to be considered as socially acceptable. They're not going to do anything in regards to being involved with the community. And so a lot of people want to think that, well, if I do get this, if I do get that, if I get a degree, if I get a this, if I get a that, I'm going to get out on the other side ahead. But guess what? You know what I've noticed? Almost every single person that has actually come out ahead on the other side, they were never playing catch up. Okay, they were never playing catch up. They knew how to maneuver based off of what the society wasn't telling them. I have my landlord here. He's got his own practice, his own business. I won't give too much information about him, but he's got his own business, and there was some plumbing stuff going on with my apartment here that I had to have him come over to fix, and because I'm renting the place. And by the way, while I'm on the topic of renting, I think it's going to be really wise for you to rent in this day and age for the time being, because buying at this point, like it's like, on the flip side, you have two things, right? There's two sides of this coin. On the one hand, you have the possibility of people not spending money, so there's actually not money going through the economy. And then on the flip side, you have people spending too much money, and we literally become play for play and step by step the Roman Empire, in which we spend all of our money and assets on pleasure and entertainment, completely forgetting about the lucrative mindset that we could potentially have and the stabilization of our society through proper conduct, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. You see, a lot of people are not like you and I. Okay, they're not like us. Like, what is that Kendrick Lamar song? Like, oh, they not like us. They not like us. They're not like us. They're not. And the reason being is because we see through this stuff. The younger generation is seeing through it. I'm now 28 years old, and I am getting to the point to which I would almost rather starve than have to work a 9-to-5. Now, I'm not saying go quit your 9-to-5. I'm not saying go just get out and, you're going to need that money down the line, okay? I promise you. The storm's coming, and the flood's going to be coming, okay? Noah's Ark is being built as we speak, and it has all of the godly people. It has all of the animals. It has everything that actually sees what's going on this time around. The flood is going to be metaphorical, though, and the flood is going to be, I think, I could be genuinely wrong about this, but I think it's going to be economical. And remember what happened after the Great Depression, right? There was a series of decades that were just terrible, just absolutely terrible, and really hard and difficult. We had world wars, etc. But then what happened? Because we live in a day and age now where it seems like the 60 to 70-year-olds are considered to be too old to have these corporate jobs anymore. But yet our entire government is built around the baby boomers, okay? So we have the baby boomers running the government, but then in the corporate world, we have a completely different story being told, that they're too old, they're not this, they're not that, they don't have the skills. And even me myself, look, I have a lot of different kinds of skill sets. And even me myself, if I were to go out and try to look for certain kinds of positions, it'd be very, 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 very competitive. And in a way, I like that. I like the competition. I like being on my toes. But on the flip side, we have to realize this as well, is that there is no such thing as job security in this day and age. And that's another thing that the younger generation is seeing. The younger generation is seeing that there's little to no reason for operating in the world where there's no guarantee of anything. People are not being guaranteed that they're going to have a family. People are not being guaranteed that they're going to have a sustainable job. People are not guaranteed that their government is operating in their best interest. People are not guaranteed that the things that they're injecting into their bodies is not filled with any kind of toxicity or toxins or anything like that. There's no guarantee of anything anymore in this information age and this technological age. It's really cool on the one hand because you can get any kind of access to technology and knowledge that you want on the internet practically any time. We have the sum of man's knowledge at our fingertips, right? But we don't have the discernment and we don't have the wisdom to navigate through the domain of novelty at this point in age. And what happens when we don't have the ability to discern through this realm of in this domain of novelty? Well, anything can happen. And that's really exciting, right? That's really exciting. But at the same time, it's kind of nerve-wracking in some sense because you never really know what can or what will happen. So the best thing that you can do is to stay on your P's and Q's, is to continue doing what you need to do and really harness in and focus in on building your life the way that you want it. Because look, as bad as America is for all the people that live in America, do you really want to live somewhere else? Like, I've thought a lot about this recently. I've really considered leaving the country. And I thought, we're in this like weird limbo state in America where anything can really go wrong or anything can really go right. I think after the election, we're going to have a proper understanding of where things are probably going to go, because we're going to go in one of two directions. And don't get me wrong, whoever gets into the elected office of the presidency, it's not going to change much, but we're going to know where the economy is going. We're going to know where everything is going, where Bitcoin and all this stuff is going, stocks. We're going to know and have a general understanding of what direction we're heading. And we already know that we're not going in a good direction at this point. But the younger generation is seeing this. And I don't know if all of it is necessarily conscious. I think that they're subconsciously seeing this. And I think that that's probably the reason why they're seeing all of this stuff happening, and they're seeing the uncertainty of it, and they're seeing the lack of guarantee, and they're just thinking to themselves, like, screw this, I'm out. And can you blame them? Like, can you blame them? Can you blame a person that wants to just leave the system altogether? Because that's what's happening. That's what's happening. The people are seeing through it. There's nothing in it for men anymore. Women are beyond broken in the spirit. Only God himself can heal a lot of these women. Because, look, if you can't change that woman from a hoe into a housewife, then only God can. And I'm not even saying you can do that or you should try. I'm just saying that sometimes not even God can save these women. And it's not because he doesn't want to, it's not because he can't. It's because these women don't want to be saved. You have to be open to receiving love. You have to be open to receiving God's salvation in order to actually have that inner transformation. And a lot of these women, they don't want it. They don't. And a lot of the men, they're just, I've said in my videos that they're just not competent. And that's true. But we also have to think about why this is, because for the women, they're being told that, yeah, be sexually explicit, go be liberated, sexually speaking. Meanwhile, you're destroying your spirit, but who cares, right? Who cares? You go, girl, you go. And then the men are being told, okay, you still have to provide, you still have to protect, and if you don't do those things, we're going to take half of your stuff anyway after you get married, and we're going to take away your kids from you, and we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and you're not going to have any say about it, and you're going to have to pay for the rest of your life. There was literally a comment on one of my videos that went viral a couple weeks ago, I guess it was about a month ago or so now, called "Nearly All Married Men Tell Me Not to Get Married." I ought to make a video of just going through the comments on that video, because literally out of the thousands of comments that I saw, there were probably only a couple hundred that were positive in the realm of marriage, which is good, but it just went to prove my point. It just went to prove my point that, and in the comments, there was somebody that said, okay, I was married for 30 years, had suspicions cheating and of her cheating on me. Turns out while we were on vacation, I opened up her iPad or whatever, and there it was, she was cheating. And she had all of these like text conversations or whatever, and he left shortly after that, but he still lost his house. He still lost like half of what he made, half of what he owed, whatever. He still lost half, and she cheated on him. Okay, do you guys hear that? She cheated on him, and he still paid for it. So as men, we are paying more to buy less, not just with our food, not just with our livelihoods, but with our relationships. And y'all, like the older generations expect the younger generation to still rise up to the occasion. You're not giving them an incentive to. So to all the people out there that are watching this, and here is an incentive for the women as well, to be pure. The incentive for women to be pure is that you're not going to live down the line wishing that you hadn't made the decisions that you did. Because look at all of the OnlyFans women, look at all the corn stars. They're all saying that they regret it, and they were sexually promiscuous and they regret it. That's the kind of life you're heading down. I'm not saying that you have to have OnlyFans in order to get to that point. No, that kind of behavior gets you to that point. Okay, so be pure, and your incentive for purity is a long-lasting life where you are actually safe, where you actually secure, where you actually feel like you can be yourself around a man that wants to take care of you, and you guys want to take care of each other. Okay, that's your incentive, is a long-lasting familial legacy and relationship. For men, it's something very similar, but it's building your own purpose and living the life that you want. Because as I said earlier in this video, I'm getting to the point now to where I'd rather starve than have to work a 9-to-5. I'm just, oh my gosh. It's weighing on me. It's weighing on me I'm thinking even just getting only a part-time job and focusing full-fledged on my side businesses. That's it. Like, that's all I'm gonna do. Because I cannot stand to work around these people that think they know shit and they know jack shit. and even the people that I'm like contracted with right now, these people are, anyway, I'm not going to talk too much about that. I don't want to give too many details, but the point is, ladies and gentlemen, is that we need to be better. And the only thing that's going to change is really ourselves making that change for ourselves. And if you can do that, then you can do that. And that's what the younger generation is trying to learn how to do. And so I want to give a shout out to the younger generation and an encouragement to them, because you guys know at a subconscious level what's going on. Trust yourself and trust what you've experienced, because only in the end, only that which you've experienced really can be relied upon in times of crisis. You can look at other people's lives and see where they went wrong or where they went right, and how you can do what they did to be better, or not do what they did to not be worse. But ultimately, it's going to be your choice. It's going to be up to you to make that decision and have that discernment, and that comes down to you and your relationship with God. And with that being said, I hope this message was useful and insightful. And until next time, peace be with you.